All right, everybody, this will be a warning to all politicians. I'm running for president 2024. I wanted to go back over some things about drugs and how the society's being played, especially the African American community. Um, so look here, especially if you look at Europe and everything, all addictions are treated as disease. That's fine. But if you have cancer, you don't go to the doctor and say, hey man, hit me up with some more of them cancer cells. If you're an alcoholic, which is alcoholism is considered a disease, you don't go to AA and they don't set you up a couple shots and a chaser. So you look at all these clinics and stuff in Europe and stuff, and that's what they want to do here. They already got a lot of it. Go get your free needles. Go get your free dope. We got to treat addiction. We got to stop treating them as criminals, which, okay, we got to stop treating the addict as a criminal. Unless their addiction is causing them to go and commit other crimes, which even if you legalize drugs, they still got to get the cash for it. And if you think you're going to tax America to pay for the habit of drug abusers, like they do in Europe, you got another thing coming. Do you really want, and look at this weed now, though, they're going to legalize it. It is way stronger, and so pretty soon you're going to have all these people say, well, we're addicted, it's a disease, we can't get off of it, yada yada. Now I smoke cigarettes still. I don't drink, I don't do anything else. I still smoke cigarettes, and I can quit. I know I've quit before. And I know I can quit. It's not easy sometimes. There's been times I've quit cold turkey, no problem. Smoked my last cigarette out of the pack, that's it, I'm not buying another pack. And gone, several months before I smoked another cigarette. Other times, I'd cut down maybe 2 cigarettes a day, something like that. But anyhow, if you smoke cigarettes, you're a pariah, all right? No one says you have a disease. No one says you have an addiction, a disease. We're going to treat it, and you're going to get we're going to pay for your cigarettes. You see where I'm going with this? No one tells the alcoholic we're going to pay for your booze. All right? No one tells me they're going to pay for my cigarettes. But when it's going to come to weed and all these other drugs, we expect the taxpayer to, support people's habits. So I'm saying, look, they're playing you, and it's word games. All right. Oh no, they got a disease. Okay. Well, so do people who have cancer. They don't go to the doctor and get more cancer. Alcoholics don't go and get treated and get more alcohol. People who are addicted to cigarettes don't go and get free cigarettes. But you want to support all these other drugs, these types of people addicted. Well, that's a really strong addiction. Everything's a really strong addiction. Some things were easy for me to walk away. Other things weren't. So, you got to really think what's going on with this legalization and stuff, and all these word games these people play. And they want you to pay for abortions. They want you to pay for people's drug habits and needles and all this stuff. Look here. You can quit. You can quit drugs just like I can quit cigarettes. It might be hard, but you can quit. Millions of people have. But instead, what are they going to do? You know what? We're not even going to try and get them off of it. We're just going to call it a disease and supply them. And we'll pay them to stay at home. And what is that? What have you lost your minds, America? Do you want to work and bust your rear end while somebody is living off of welfare and all this other stuff? And, they go to the store, she gets 2 shopping carts full of groceries. He buys a bunch of beer. I was looking at that when the job I had took me to those stores and stuff. I worked local there in the valley in Phoenix for a grocery chain. And sure enough, the lower end chain of those grocery stores, you go in anytime, first of the month, packed. It's always packed anyway, but then it was really packed. And you know, there she is. She got 2 shopping carts full of food, gonna pay with that card. And you know, he's right behind her. She got a pocket full of cash. He's gonna buy beer. And I'm like, wait a minute. I bust my rear end and paying my bills, taking care of my family, struggling, you know, all this stuff. I don't have the leisure to come in here and fill up, even though I don't drink, I don't have the leisure to come in here and fill a shopping cart with 4 or 5 cases of beer. But these people do? Wait a minute. So don't say it's racism. There's something wrong with the system. People are playing the system, you know, and they're playing you. They're telling you they're going to give you all this free stuff. It ain't free to begin with, and it's not advancing you personally or your community or anything at all. Nothing. It's for like an expression out here we use all the time. It's pissing in the wind. That's all it is. Or spitting in the wind, whichever one you want to do. Some people use whatever. But anyhow, so do you see that? You think this legalizing this weed and it's, you know, so much stronger and everything, the health problems you're going to have, then you're going to have people say they're addicted, they can't get off of it, etc. Do you think it is really to help you and your community? No, it is not. So that's some of the word games and the way they change things around. And you know, and going back to words too, it's the word minority. I started to talk about that. That is almost a derogatory term anymore, the way they use it. Just listen, it don't matter, both parties will say it in that manner. It can be an African American congressperson or a civil rights worker, whatever, and the way they use the term minorities is, which is why I said, you know, I'd be upset if I was African American, Mexican or something, somebody said, yeah, you're a minority. I'd be like, I'm a what? What the hell are you talking? No, I'm not. Because that's the way they use it. It doesn't mean less in number anymore. It means less capable. It means, you know, disadvantaged or whatever words they want to put in front of it. Means you need help, you can't function. Doesn't mean less in number. It's a derogatory term anymore, and we should get rid of it.
A new important message has arrived.
This whole thing, minority party and this and that and everything.
A new important message has arrived.
Sorry, it's 2020. We should get rid of.
Attention! A new important message has arrived.
We should get rid of all these things and
Dispatch 6439201.
Isn't this fun?
Has been deleted.
Are you hearing that?
Dispatch 6451311 has been activated. Attention! A new important message has arrived. Attention! A new important message has arrived. A new message has arrived. Attention! A new important message has arrived.
All right, so there's still some things wrong with technology. But anyhow, you know, that's you got to look at the words they use and how they're used and all this stuff and everything. You know, you're an American citizen. It's like you know, Mexicans I've known through my life, or people Hispanic descent or whatever. Or even if I'm just, you know, meeting them, I'm delivering someplace or something, and the conversation comes up, you know, and about illegal immigration stuff, because there's a lot of people of Hispanic descent, of Mexican descent, who are in this country, who are against letting masses of people just flood up from south of the border too. And when you talk to them, a lot of them will say, you know, because a lot of them will surprise me and use some really derogatory language sometimes. About the people coming up. And I had a girlfriend when I lived in Lake Tahoe. She was Mexican Italian. Her mother was Italian, her father was Mexican, and she had no problem with any conversation, making it clear, she wasn't Mexican, she was American, and she would use slang and derogatory remarks about people coming from south of the border and stuff too, whenever she wanted to. But you talking to people and stuff, they'll be like, "I'm not Mexican, I'm American. I'm Latino, but I'm American. I'm not Mexican." So we need to clarify when we either say Mexican nationals who are coming across or foreign nationals, something like that. I know people don't like the term illegal aliens or whatever, so you just say Mexican nationals. That's all. And these foreign nationals who get into the country illegally, it's going to be harder for them to function. Off the scope. They're going to have to get a bank account. They're going to have to get a driver's license, pass a driver's test like any other citizen, get a license, and like I say, all our debit cards and our driver's licenses will have our fingerprints on them, if not encoded digitally, to where a cop can take your license just like a debit card, slide it in, and it can scan it, and you can put your finger on a little scanner, something like that, or where they'll actually have the print. I think just having it in there digitally where they can pull it up, but leave all that tech stuff to the tech guys. But so then whoever hires them isn't going to be able to cheat them on wages. They will pay taxes for sure, instead of just saying they do when they don't. They will pay taxes, and then when it comes time, hey, you got to go to the immigration court and stuff. I'm not saying some of these laws don't have to be changed about making the process smoother, making it so it doesn't take as long and all this. But this is a lot better than detention camps and stuff like this, and then people getting in all together and not knowing where they're at and stuff. And it's better for them, and it's better for us. It'll make all the illegal stuff harder to do, the illegal hiring and stuff, and the tax base will be increased. And comes time for their hearing or whatever, they don't show up. You want to put a warrant out for them, whatever, they're going to be easier to find. And I know it's hard if you're here. I've worked plenty of places where there were illegals working there, and they got families and everything, just like us. Yeah, some of them happy to be here, love the country. Other ones, they hated you, you stupid gringo and all that kind of stuff, and they hated the country. They didn't give a damn about anything. Would commit crime, whatever. But there were a lot of them were really here. They wanted to be here. They wanted to go through the process, all that kind of stuff. But they had to, they came in illegally, and, they were working at places and stuff. Those types of people won't have any problem with being part of the system, having to have an account and this and that and everything, because it's going to keep them from being prey to all the types of business owners and the coyotes and wranglers and stuff they have up here too. Plus, a lot of those cartels will funnel money up here to illegals who are here, get them to start legitimate businesses and stuff, and with the they're going to be working for them on the side, shuttling their drugs. So, and what I started to say was, I know it's hard for those people who want to be here and stuff and everything. They got families. They don't want their families broken up. They have lives. They've made lives. They have jobs. They don't want to lose all that. Just like working American during the recessions and stuff, living paycheck to paycheck, don't want to lose what they have. Which there's another thing about that recession and stuff and everything. Like I said, I had trouble at times with one of those companies that was considered a predatory lender. But when I got my loan and everything, I could afford. I made good enough money. I had good enough credit. I had a fixed rate and everything. You know, my mortgage was not a predatory mortgage. But they made it out to be like, when all that happened, oh, all these people got mortgages that should have never had them. And they tried to pin the blame on the people. So if you watch a movie, there's a documentary called Inside Job. And it goes through everything that happened, who were responsible, this and that, and what happened to them and everything. And a lot of these CEOs and these brokerages and stuff and everything, they got the bailouts and everything. None of them, even though they did illegal stuff, went to jail. The laws weren't fixed. They, in fact, came out with these super huge bonuses, $20-30 million bonuses, whatever they were, and walked away smelling like a rose when they were responsible for the whole thing, and American citizens lost their homes. So, just like I'm hard on other types of criminals, look out, Wall Street. You ain't getting away with that crap no more. You are not getting away with that kind of crap no more. Before any bailouts or anything like that happen, your bonuses disappear. Your salaries, hey, you're making $10 million bucks a year or whatever, guess what? You're dropping that puppy down to $1 million. You made the problem, guess what? And even though they make all that money and stuff, with the problems that they cause, it won't be able to fill the hole. So there'll still have to be government money and stuff. But you know what? If they blow through all the laws and all that and everything, they're going to prison. Not no country club either. They're going to prison. That's another thing that sucks in this society. You know, I think our justice system, our legal system, is more biased economically than it is racially, if you ask me. If you can't hire the high-priced lawyers and tie up the court system for, months or years at a time, you ever see a murder trial like OJ's before? Sorry. If he wasn't who he was, didn't have the money, didn't have the people around him backing him, them high-priced lawyers, that wouldn't have went on as long as it was. So we've got a lot to fix. You're not going to fix it by going through the streets, looting and killing people, saying dismantle the police departments, trying to get a socialist government in here, and all these other things you're doing. You're not going to fix it that way. You're just not. Everyone's going to have to start taking hard, honest looks at what's going on, what the problem is, how do we fix it, and forget all the spinning and all the pandering and all that crap that's just for votes. Let's fix the country. That helps people on both sides, doesn't it? Whether they're liberal or conservative. That helps all people. You just fix the problems. Just fix the system, tweak it where it needs to be tweaked. You don't have to pull the rug out of anybody's, under anybody's feet or any business or anything like that. But just say, hey, look, we're going to start tweaking things here little by little and make life easier and more fair for everybody in the country, especially the law-abiding working people. And we're going to forget all this hoopla that both parties, throw out there all the time to confuse people, to buy people's opinions or votes. And, we're going to fix the schools. Kids are going to learn about, hey, how money works. They're going to learn how society works, civics again, all these types of things. And we're going to stop all this nonsense, word games, and we're going to get to work. It's going to be assholes and elbows, period. We don't have time for this crap no more. It's 2020, and it keeps getting worse. So another thing in the news here, Trump's taking flack from Germany because he wants to pull 9,500 troops out of Germany and stuff, and you get all these people on the right. Everyone's in the defense contractors' pockets. They're tied to the same corporations, whether it's Fox News or whatever. So, oh, that guy on that side, he's making the country more weak and this and that. It goes, look, if you want to tell me Europe right now, without our help, cannot fend off an attack from Russia, you're crazy. If you go and you look at who's got what, the types of weapons and how many and all this, this is not pre-war World War II. And I'm not saying we're gonna abandon Europe and dismantle NATO or anything like that. But I'm just saying, a lot of it is just because of the money involved. Of course, they don't want 9,500 troops to leave. That's a lot of money we spend there. Are you kidding? It's not making Germany any weaker, and I'm sure these nations all have got to come to an agreement. They're not going to attack their neighbors. That's all, and that's part. If you look at the Baha'i faith, Baha'u'llah, the glory of God, sent letters to all the nations, because if you know your scripture, King of Kings, he's King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the returning spirit. I won't get too much into religion. A lot of people don't understand it about, the manifestation of God in a human being. Like Jesus is not the only person you can say who was God in the flesh on the earth. It's not that Jesus himself was God. The Spirit, if you're Muslim, you know the Holy Spirit, which is the Spirit of truth, is God. Jesus was strengthened. Everything he did was the will of God. He was the manifestation. And you can look at other religions around the world. He's not the only one. So Baha'u'llah, the glory of God, when Jesus, you're waiting for Jesus personally to come back. That's not what he was talking about. He said, when he said of himself, he'll come back. The manifestation of God will return. He'll be called by another name. So he's not, if you're looking for second coming of Jesus, he didn't say the return of Jesus. He said, we'll be called by a new name, the glory of God. Knowledge would be increased, and he'd come like a thief in the night. No rebuilding the temple, no all this other stuff they teach you. Anyway, to get away from all that, he sent letters to all of them saying, hey, reduce your military expenditures and all this, and learn to live in peace with each other, or you're going to end up in a world war. You're going to have world wars. And he even talked about weapons so powerful that could ignite the whole atmosphere. Prophesied about nuclear weapons. This was in the 1800s. Nations did not listen to him, did they? What do we have? 2 world wars. 2 world wars. So we've all got to sit, foreign policy wise, that'll be it. We're going to sit down, we're going to hammer this out. If I can't totally get rid of nuclear weapons, we'll get rid of most of them, because anyway, they're number one, they're outdated. Unless it's a warhead on a hypersonic missile, it's outdated. So, and the warheads, they can be made smaller, so you're not destroying whole civilizations. You just got to use a tactical or something, anything. But you can get rid of them all. Just missile defense, hey, we got these lasers, we got all this. The money will go into technology like that. We get that taken care of. We don't have to have missiles to annihilate the world. And other countries' missiles who want to annihilate us won't reach here. And speaking about foreign relations, how did we go from being heroes, we stuck up for Europe and these countries and everything till the Soviet Union collapsed and the Berlin Wall came down. We stuck up for Afghanistan when the Russians were there. We, even though we created Saddam, we got him out of Kuwait and stuff. Other instances where, we stand up for Taiwan, we stand up for Hong Kong, other places around the world. But how have we gone in Europe and the Middle East to being the villain? and it's spreading like it can now to Mexico, and Mexicans were the villains, we're racist, all this stuff. Somebody's been taking, whether you say it's our mistakes we've made, or just they're putting flat out lies out there. Either way, they've taken advantage of mistakes we made, foreign policy maybe, bad decisions, and then they're putting out like all governments do, like we do, putting out their propaganda and turning hearts and minds. America, we got it in for you. We got in. We got it in for you. You're the reason for everything bad in the world. That's what they say. Go through YouTube, look at numerous sites. Go on the internet, look at numerous sites. They got it in for us. And how'd that happen? How did we go from being, I don't want to say the word champions, but like that, of the world? People always saying, when other nations didn't help them, America did. And now that's all forgotten. What's happened? So I think there's foreign agitators who are doing this, and we need to find out what's going on and where the money's coming from to support these people who want to totally dismantle our society, turn it upside down into a land of chaos and mayhem. And but I would say, we need to go to these nations over there, even our allies, and say, look, you might be our ally, but if you attack your neighboring country, and then they start attacking back or whatever, don't count on us. If you're attacked, yeah, we'll live up to our things, but we're not going to spend all this money over here. There's no reason for us to keep all these troops, all this equipment over here in Europe. And you got to talk to Putin or whoever takes over in Russia and say, look, it makes no sense to go through this arms race again and these buildups, and to have us standing at a standoff and all this. Well, we just all agree we're going to reduce we'll get rid of our nuclear weapons. That's going to save everybody tons of money. We'll have that to spend for the problems we need to fix in our own countries. We'll be able, then we'll work on downsizing the rest of our militaries. And because face it, if everybody else downsizes, we don't need the super huge military we have. If you look at our budget and how much equipment we got and everything, we by far exceedingly outdo everybody else. So we'll have to look at all these things and find solutions. Find solutions without going to war. Find solutions without tearing down our cities and demonstrating and all this stuff. Capitalism, free enterprise, all that stuff works. Yeah, it needs to be tweaked. It needs to be made more fair and better. But getting rid of it and going to some socialist dictatorship style country doesn't work anywhere in the world. And other people say, well, it's because American. No, go back, look. It does not work when all the power is centralized, whether it's in a monarchy, a form of government, when it's all, there's no democracy, there's no free enterprise. The government controls everything. It's just no good for the society. Anyhow, I'll leave it at that. Think about that stuff about drugs, and the word games they play with you there. So, wish you all the best out there. God bless. Adios.